Now I'm very excited to welcome back the best proxy in all of Las Vegas from footballcontest.com, Mr. Vegas Matty. You can follow Matty on Twitter at Vegas_Matty. This segment is brought to you by Circus Sports. For the best contests in all the land, please visit circusports.com/contest for over 16 million in guaranteed prizes. Get in Circa Millions and Circa Survivor with this guy right here. Welcome back, Matty. How was your vacation?
It was good. Yeah, nice to have a little R&R before things get crazy over in these sports books over the next 6 weeks or so. It's going to be nuts, and it's going to be another record signups at Circa, and we're going to try to help them help Derek avoid those overlays.
Oh, those nasty overlays. We don't like overlays. Well, actually, I'd like overlays, but he doesn't like overlays. Overlays are great for me. As a matter of fact, if I was the only one to sign up for this contest, it'd be pretty awesome. But, that's not going to happen. But the truth is that there is a lot of overlays in these contests, and we'll get to that. But anyways, I suppose for any new listeners out there too, the odds breakers or anybody kind of just not completely familiar of what you do, why don't you talk about football contests and what you do for all of us?
Sure. Well, we run the leading proxy service in Las Vegas we have for the past 15 years. So this is going in year number 16. My partner Tony and I, we've been just racking up the numbers over the years, and this year should be even bigger and better than ever. So we're hoping to have a lot more winners. We had a super contest winner last year, super contest gold winner. A lot of people cash in the Circa Millions. They pay out the top 100. So that's something you want to keep in mind. You don't have to, of course, it's awesome to win the $1 million, but there's a lot of other payouts that you can win. Basically, the top 10 in the Circa Million all get 6 figures. So that's pretty cool.
Absolutely, man. It's there's just so many little contests because it pays 100 spots now, and you have the quarterlies, which is fantastic. And if you have a terrible start, you can go for the booby prize, and then just try to go for booby prizes here on out, or for the quarterly. I mean, quarterlies are still a good amount of money, 150 grand for first, right?
Yeah, that's right. And I think it's $25,000 for a booby prize quarterly winners as well. So yeah, you stink it up for 4 weeks, 5 weeks, you can get basically a decent chunk of change just for being bad. So it's hard to be as bad as you are good in some of these too. So but like you said, the best thing is you get off to a bad start, you still can win some money. And if you get off to a great start, then you're in the running for the big money. But yeah, you had alluded to the proxy, so I forgot I totally blew that one off. But basically, we were responsible for submitting the picks in person for these contests. So you need to get to Vegas to sign up between now and the beginning of the football season. And then once these contests are underway, you need somebody who can submit the picks in person. You can, if you live in Arizona and you want to, like yourself, and you want to cross over the line and submit them on the mobile app every week, you can do that, or you can hire somebody like us to do it for you. So yeah, that's basically it. We're the middleman between you and the casino.
Absolutely. And that's what's great, because you can get into the biggest football contest in the land, like at the Circa, without even having to be in Las Vegas. That means from anywhere around the world.
Season, yeah, 18 weeks is a long time. It's funny. I think the Westgate actually had a promotion a few years ago where they would try to hook you up with a room deal, like free rooms if you were able to come out and you wanted to put in the picks yourself during the season. And that was a short-lived promotion, just because it's so much easier to use a proxy than to try to get to Vegas. I think one of our clients a few years ago, he was coming in from Colorado, and he flew in every week of the season because he didn't know a proxy was available. Now this was over 5 years ago, so things have obviously changed. We've got our name out there quite a bit, so people understand the value of having a proxy. And but yeah, when I heard that, and that he was doing basically doing a round trip flight every week just to put his picks in, I was like, that's insane. The costs add up, and just the time and energy you have to do that is crazy. You want to focus on picking winners every week, and that's what we want to provide, a stress-free experience for you. You don't have to worry about anything but just handicapping the games and submitting your picks every week.
Yep. That's all you got to worry about, and that's what's important. And you know
That's
what?
easy, right? That's the easy part.
Right. It's the easy part that you shouldn't be stressing over all week that all of us love to do, but that's what makes it kind of fun. You know, if you like betting, I mean, it's no different than betting. You already put your money down. You're just
Right.
still making the picks. It's still exciting. You still have to do 4 to 5 week increments here to get the 150 grand. I mean, all for $1,000, it's worth it, you know, and that's what makes it so awesome. But are there any changes to what you do over there at football contests this year?
Not too much. We're just trying to, soup up the website a little bit more, help the performance of it, make it. I mean, we've got about 1,000 clients that we're trying to make sure that they can get their picks in an efficient manner, and the site loads okay, and it's secure and all that good stuff. So every year we kind of do an audit and look through what we can improve a little bit better, and that's kind of what I'm trying to do now, a good 5-6 weeks ahead of schedule, so that once you know once the season rolls, there's no issues. So we just want to have this whole thing run like a well-oiled machine, make it easy for you guys, and yeah, that's kind of what we're responsible for. So we don't want you to stress about anything.
Yeah, great call. And that's important. No stress and make it easy. And that's what you guys do there. What kind of changes are with the contests here? Well, actually, before I get into that, which are the most popular contests, I should say, before I get ahead of myself in Las
Sure.
Vegas?
Well, yeah, the big three obviously are the two Circa contests, the Circa Sports Million, the Circa Survivor contest, and then the Westgate Super Contest. So those are the three that we proxy for. The Westgate Super Contest used to be the granddaddy of them all. Kind of started everything with the $1 million winners, things like that. Back when they used to charge $1,500 an entry for that contest, and they had upwards of, I think their biggest year they had about 3,500 entries in there. So you do the math, and that's a lot of money in the prize pool. So unfortunately, once the COVID year 2020 hit, they did not have a guaranteed prize pool. And when there weren't a lot of people that came out to sign up that year, it really, I don't want to say killed the super contest because it's still around, but it really put a hurt on it, because Derek Stevens over at Circa offered the the $1 million winner guaranteed, and he also had a guaranteed prize pool overall, which for the Circa Million now is $6 million. So you have the grand prize of $1 million, and then basically spots 2 through 100. They pay out ties and everything like that for that. That's the other $5 million that's in the pool. The super contest just can't compete with that anymore. They are relying on the number of entries. Similar to poker, the number of people that are, or the number of entries that are in there. Now you can enter up to 7 times in that contest. Very few people do that. But last year, I think they had 1,100 entries. Like I said earlier, we did have the winner in that contest. He won a little over $200,000. The Super Contest Gold, which is a $5,000 winner take all contest, we had the winner in that as well, and he won like $460,000, I believe. Ooh. So that's a whopper. I mean, that's a tough one where if you finish second, when we've had some guys finish second in the past in that, which is worth absolutely nothing. So that's kind of still a prestigious contest because it's a high stakes contest. And the one cool thing about the super contest, I will say, is that there are 12 ways to win. In addition to the one overall prize, there's 11 other mini contests within the season. Circa's known for their big quarterly payouts, but the super contest pays out every 3 weeks, every 6 weeks, every 9 weeks. So you end up having 11 smaller contests, like a first half contest, a second half contest, then every 3 weeks, basically, you got to go like 14-1, 13-2 to win that, and you don't win nearly as much money as you might win in the Circa Million quarterly, obviously, but you're still going to, be able to win some money, like $25,000 is nothing to sneeze at. So that's something you can play for. And a lot of guys who like the pick 5 contest, because let's be clear, the Circa Million and the Super Contest are both pick 5 contests against the spread. You have to pick 5 games. They have set lines, so the lines do not change. And you take your best 5 picks, you put them in. and a lot of people will do one of each, like one entry of each. And I think that's what I know we'll talk about the overlays shortly, but
Yeah.
I think that's the challenge that Derek has with the Circa Million, is just trying to get people to sign up for the max of 5 entries in that one. Because that's really, you want people to sign up for as many. One entry per person is not going to get to your 6,000 entries that you need to avoid the overlay in that one. You got to have people doing multiple entries, a lot of 5 entry max guys in there to be able to hit that, which he has not been able to do the last couple of years.
Well, when there's an overlay, the more entries to buy, the higher your odds go up for a positive EV experience, because there's no rake in the circuit contest. And I love what the super contest did, and I was in it back when it was $1,500. But as soon as COVID hit, I missed year 1 of the circa, but I haven't not been in one since. So we're at year 6 in the circa now, and I'm excited for it because like you said, it's got the guarantee of 6 million. Any other changes though going on with the circa contest? I think that there's just more of a guarantee for sure.
Well, the guarantee actually in the Circa Million has been the same the last couple of years. So it's basically he's going for that 6 million. It's chasing it. He hasn't been able to hit the number the last couple of years, and he had like 5,300 entries last year. And again, that translates to an overlay of $700,000+. So the goal this year is to hit those 6,000 entries or more. And if there's more than 6,000 entries, the overage goes back into the quarters, so that those quarterly prizes will be bigger. So that's what everybody wants, except for down there, downtown anyways. They want to be able to go over 6,000 entries. It is nice to have bigger quarterly bonuses, but I know the players that they'd be happy with keeping it like around that 5,500 level, just so that there's some positive EV like you're talking about there. But it's going to be a challenge because if you keep looking at the numbers, the Survivor contest is outpacing it more than 2-1 right now, and even if the Circa Million might be at a record pace, but what does that mean? Does that mean 5,700 entries? Does that mean 5,800 entries? Is it pacing over 6,000? That's definitely a question for Jeff Benson over at Circa. He normally has the metrics on that stuff.
It's not even August, and it feels like it's pacing better than it has been.
And I think it is. I think the pace is better, but it's just a matter of will it keep up? Because those numbers for the Survivor is going to be about 12,000 entries, I think, without a doubt. Like, I think that's the minimum. If I was going to set it over under, I would say like 12,000, which is $12 million in the pot. That's amazing. Now the million is another story. You're almost a sixth of the way there, heading into August, and you're good. Yeah, there'll be over 1,000 entries going into August, which is better than ever, I believe. But 6,000 is still a bit of a challenge, because normally, I try to look at the numbers and say it's going to be about 4 to 5 times what the numbers you see going into August. And with Survivor, that's like you get to 2,500, then that 4 or 5 times is like between 10 and 12,000 the pace. You know what I mean? The million is close, but is it going to get to that 6,000? That's going to be tough.
You got a personal formula for that. Well, okay.
It's just kind of based on past experience. I mean, it's ballpark stuff. I don't have like a magic ball.
Oh, yeah, it's cool. It's good that you do.
Like but I always kind of try to look at anybody looking at the numbers going into August. You can at least quadruple them, if not like it's 5 times the amount.
Right.
Yeah.
In me looking at it, I'm just staring at this 5 million overlay, just praying it stays the same. But of course, if it stays the same, Derek will never do this again. So there's no way that it's going to stay the same. But I think you got past 5 million last year in entries, so there still was an overlay. I expected to get pretty close to 6 million. I think a push that we're making is going to help them out. But Survivor is definitely going to hit it. You got 10 entries there. And, with Survivor, there's just so many ways to get out early of this contest. And that's why you almost need more entries. So many people do like the max in the Survivor opposed to the max in the million. It's not even close, and then you're talking about twice as many
entries you can do as a max in the survivor. So we'll have somebody do 1 million and 10 survivors, or 2 millions and 10 survivors, or whatever.
Yeah.
But they're gonna do way more survivors than they do millions, and that's reflected in the numbers so far. It's like it's a little better than 2-1, like I said, but like when it comes down to it, it's going to end up being like 3-1, closer to 3-1.
Let's
all said and done.
Let's talk about the true numbers. 992 right now for millions out of 6,000 needed. So almost 1/6 of the way there, I guess. And then 2,122 out of the guaranteed 10 million. And yeah, I expect that to be 2,500 as well, being that we have almost a week left in August. So, or in July. So yeah,
July, right?
That's the current numbers. Get down to Vegas, man. It is well worth it to get in these contests. So next question is, well, with me, I always wonder about college contests. I always wish that there's college. I'm a huge college football. I just wish that they could make the software for it, because I think even if Derek threw out a 500,000 guarantee, meaning 250 to first, it'd be enough for me to throw in 1,000 to get in the contest, and then just kind of see how it grows. Because once I'm out there signing up for millions, I might as well sign up for the college one too. I wish it was there, but a couple years ago, William Hill did one, but I doubt they're doing one again, right?
No, they're not touching it. They're done. They lost so much money in those couple years that you were doing it that, because they guaranteed $1 million 1 year and then 500 the next, 500,000. And yeah, they took a bloodbath on it. So it didn't really work out too well for them. They paid out the top 10. Was it a good contest? I mean, it was the only contest, the only pure college contest in town. And you had to pick from only 30 games. I think that's the biggest challenge when it comes to college football contests, is just that what kind of a pool of games do you draw from? Because games are played almost every single day of the week. Once you get out of that first month of the season, you've got games on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So how do you set that up where you're not excluding certain conferences, or, I don't know. That to me, it's not so much the software as it is just the logistics of doing a contest, is that there's games every day of the week, and what do you pick and what do you not pick as far as available for the pool?
Yeah.
So William Hill did it. They did like the 30 games, and they were all Saturday games. So you had to have your picks in, and they tried to schedule the games where if you could still pick 7 games like afternoon Pacific time. You know what I mean? So it was kind of it was the only real game in town as far as a pure college football contest. So they try to get people in it, and trust me, I've talked to people around town trying to talk them into it. We met with Jay Cornegay over at the Westgate after the season to try to say, hey, if you guys want to try to bring more people into the super contest, like, why not do a college contest? Because I thought you could get between 500 and 1,000 entries. And not only are you getting people to sign up for that contest, but what Derek did with the Survivor contest is it's bringing people in for the Survivor contest, and then they sign up for the million while they're there. There's a guaranteed prize pool, which is a huge advantage as well and selling point. But the Survivor contest is what has really gotten the million to grow. It's just that you're gonna go to one stop and sign up for both contests. So
I agree with you. I think he should do that. I would definitely go to the Westgate when I'm coming up there for contest weekend. The 22nd through the 25th, I'll be there of August. But I would certainly take an Uber to the Westgate to get in the college contest.
Yeah, a lot of people would do it, and that was kind of the selling point. It was like, how do you save the super contest or kind of help it out, with the signups? Because the numbers have been dwindling the last few years. They had a spike right after COVID year, because how do you not go up from 2020? 2021 was higher, and then 2022 and 2023 have been progressively lower. So there was only 1,100 entries in that contest last year.
Yeah.
And, I don't know what the pace is over there now, but they'll be lucky to probably get the same number this year or break 1,000. And that's not something you want to have for like what was once the most prestigious contest in town.
I didn't mind the 30 on Saturday, to be honest. But yeah, that's the best way you can do it. I mean, like, maybe you have the one on Sunday they have once in a while, but which is only really in the beginning of the season. And
Yeah.
I think it made sense. It's a shorter year though. It is shorter, but hell yeah, while I'm there, I might get on the super contest too. Yeah, it's just you're right.
That's the thing too, is that
done that.
The William Hill contest was only 10 weeks, so they didn't even really go deep into November. It was like basically the first week, I think, in November or two, and then once you got the rivalry games and things like that, and there were no bowl games or anything.
They missed the first week. They missed week 1 of college football.
Yeah, they missed week because they start with the NFL like week 1, so that the timing wise. So it's basically like I think you're even into week 2. So there's week 0, week 1, week 2. It's almost like into that week 2, like traditionally. So yeah, I mean you're just limiting the amount of games. And let's be honest. I mean, Circa doesn't need another contest. Can they do another contest? Sure, but logistically, I mean, why do they need to bring more people in with another contest when they're already getting all they could probably ask for outside of hitting that 6,000 in the Circa Million, which I know they're going to go hard to do this year. It's just another contest to try to have to manage, and it's those things are not easy. I mean, you have to be able to get people signed up, get the rules out, get the make sure that people know how they work and the ins and outs of the contest, and then have to try to promote them on top of them. They already have the 2 best contests around. They don't need to try to have a third one.
Agree, and that's why it makes more sense for the Westgate to do it.
It would, or someone else. I mean, William Hill. It was it still brought them into the books. To sign up, but
and they're not even owned by an American company. William Hill's a European company.
Yeah, well, they're Caesars now, so that's part of it too. They spent a lot in redoing their app and getting that their name out
at
there.
The time. It was and then it became Caesars around that time, and that's what they were focused on. The last question: what time are the entries due for each contest, and how you set this up for your clientele?
Sure. So we do have 2 options. We have people choose between a Friday and a Saturday deadline. And what we do, we try to do that because some people know their picks right off the bat. We've got so many people who just submit their picks within that first like 30 minutes, even not even picking the Thursday game. When those lines come out Thursday morning, they're ready to roll and they just want to put them to bed. They've been looking at the openers from Sunday night after the previous week's games. And they look at the line movement, or they just feel like they have the winners.
True injuries. Let's just throw them in.
So it's a lot different than when COVID was happening, where you had to rely more on the injury reports and who's in and who's healthy, all that kind of thing. But our deadlines are 1 p.m. Pacific time on Friday and Saturday for Circa, and 4 p.m. Pacific time for the Super Contest. So we do offer the latest deadline out there of any service for Circa, which is that 1 p.m. Pacific time. That's the latest we could possibly do to help our clients out, make sure we get everything put to bed before they need to be in at the sports book. It gives us a little cushion to try to get everything in, because dealing with 1,000 clients, and I think we had I'm trying to think how many, like 2,500 entries in the Circa contest last year, something like that between the 2, maybe even more, like between 2,500 and 3,000 entries we were responsible for putting in. So we got to make sure that, because most people do take the Saturday deadline because it gives you the most time to get those picks in. So we got to make sure that we have enough time to put them in after we give you guys as much time as possible.
Absolutely. So, and I think that's a fair time.
That's definitely one advantage to using us, is we'll give you the most time possible.
1 o'clock is a fair time. That is great stuff, Matty. Thank you so much for coming on and breaking it down. Where could our listeners and viewers get your information to get into these contests?
Well, footballcontest.com's got everything you need to succeed, as we say. We go, we think the experience matters when it comes to picking a proxy, and that's why we want you to go with the pros, which is me and Tony. We want you guys to just, again, focus on picking the winners, and we'll do the rest. We'll take the other stress out of it, so you don't have to. You can rest easy at night. But we've got all the information on all the contests, the big contests in town. And we'll keep you posted on our Twitter feed, which is also at Football Contest. So check that out as well. We'll give you updates on how many entries are in each of the contests and kind of go from there. But yeah, we appreciate you having us on as usual, and look forward to seeing you there at the end of August.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Make sure you guys check out footballcontest.com. Get into these wonderful Circa Million, Circa Survivor, obviously Westgate, or any other contest that they will proxy for.
Thank you, sir.